Is everybody that's supposed to be here? Okay. Okay, we'll get started. I'd like to welcome everybody here to the Board of Adjustment meeting for January 4th, 2024. Trying to get those dates right. First item on our agenda will be to approve the minutes from our November 2nd, 2023 meeting. Has everybody had a chance to review those minutes?
Yes, sir.
Comments or a motion?
I so move to approve.
I second.
I don't know if it matters for the minutes, but because it's the 4 regular members, the alternate member, I would say, again, this meeting, Mr. Jones, you wouldn't vote.
Say that again, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Lena, with Mr. Hilliard not here yet, would you like him to go ahead and step in?
That's fine.
Thank you.
Yes, if that's okay. Okay. So we have a motion and a second for approval of the minutes. Is there any discussion, comments? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No opposed.
I'm sorry, did we have a second on that, please?
We did.
Okay, thank you.
So we have 3 items on the agenda today. Before we start with those items, I'm going to ask that everybody who plans to speak for or against or just provide information on any of those 3 items, if you would stand and raise your right hand and
I'm sorry, Mr. Beaver, before we start that, can we do the roll call?
we can do the roll call.
I'm so sorry.
Thank you. This is what you get when you have a rookie chairman.
You're doing great.
Chairman Tamaeus is absent. Board Member Beaver.
Present.
Board Member Hilliard, absent. Board Member Rowe. Board Member Sorrell.
Here.
Alternate Board Member Lucas.
Here.
Alternate Board Member Jones.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. So now we'll ask that everybody who plans to speak today to stand, raise your right hand, and Ms. Smith will swear you in. Thank you. Thank you. First item on our agenda is file PZ 2023-460 to consider a request for a variance to the minimum rear yard setback requirement. Applicant is Cornell Price. Location is 2490 Liberty Avenue. And we'll start with the staff report, please.
Thank you. Cornell Price requests approval of a variance to the rear yard setback for the property located at 2490 Liberty Avenue. The property is zoned RCRH, Residential Conservation Revitalization Historic, which requires a minimum rear yard setback of 25 feet. The applicant wishes to reduce the minimum requirement from 25 feet to 18 feet to accommodate the construction on the vacant lot. The property is located within the Oaks Historic District, and the architectural design of the duplexes was approved by the Historic Landmark Commission on November 13th, 2023. If the variance is granted, the applicant must then receive a successful SUP or a specific use permit to move forward with the project. We did mail 24 property owner notices, and we received 2 in response. The first one stating no, they were not in favor of this request, with the comment saying that since the property is in the Oaks Historic District, I would like to also see the drawings of the proposed structure and layout of the parking, driveways, etc. I've heard the application says brick veneer, but the drawings indicate board and batten siding. The second one, also not in favor of the request, says, I'm very concerned about the development of this lot. I live across the street and 1 lot left. I only want single-family dwellings developed as per the code. I've lived here since '92. I have 2 properties on this block and want to keep what is being planned. In reference to those, just so you are aware, again, the design and architectural feature was approved by the Historic Landmark Commission previously. And then on your screens, this is the subject property outlined in red. This is the proposed design. So the front of the duplexes will actually face 9th Street. However, per ordinance, the front is considered Liberty as the narrowest street frontage. This is the proposed lot from Liberty. And then this is the rear of the property where the variance would be set with the wrought iron privacy or wrought iron fence to the left and the wood privacy in the rear. I apologize. I can turn y'all's monitors on as well. There we go. Sorry, this new system's a little hard to figure. Do y'all have any questions?
So the wrought iron fence that's shown in this video, that's considered the rear of the lot?
Yes, yes,
And the wooden fence is the side?
yes. So, and if I can take you back to the drawing, again, definition-wise, the front of the lot is Liberty based on the narrowest street frontage. So where the wrought iron fence is, you see the 18 feet to the duplex, and then the wood privacy fence is the 15-foot at what would be the rear of the drawing. But it's considered the side. Yes, Mr. Labiche with the Historic Landmark Commission and the board members there have approved the architectural design of the structure. So the units themselves will also feature garages. And the applicant is in the audience, just so you're aware.
Member Rowe, could you turn your mic on, please, sir?
I hate that mic.
So, and you said, if the variance is granted, it's still, they have to get a specific use permit
Yes, sir.
to be able to construct the two.
Yes.
And does that go, is there a public hearing for that?
Yes, it'll go before Planning and Zoning Commission for the joint public hearing, and then it'll also be heard finally at City Council.
So the individuals that submitted a letter in opposition would have an opportunity to speak at that public
Yes.
hearing, to your knowledge?
Yes.
As well as they had the opportunity to speak here this afternoon.
Yes.
Thank you.
Anybody else have any questions for staff?
You said the driveway is garage?
So yes, each of the duplexes, so there's 4 total units, there's 2 structures. Each unit does have a single car garage with it.
I would expect.
Yeah,
Probably
yeah,
one there and one there.
Yeah, that's something.
And that would be adjacent to the wrought iron fence?
So if you look at the drawing here where that 18 feet is on
Right.
the left side of the drawing, that is the wrought iron fence. So they'd be, next to the wrought iron fence would just be a side wall of what would be a structure.
Okay. See that. Sir.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to ask if there's anybody else in the audience that would like to speak on this item. If you would, come to the podium, state your name, your address, and your relationship to the property, and then give us whatever information you like.
How y'all doing? Good. My name is Cornell Price. I'm with CMP3 Enterprises, and I'm the developer of the property. And I'm just here to answer any questions y'all may have.
Does anybody have any questions for Mr. Price?
Mr. Price, can you please state your address for the record?
And my address is 2635 Rigby Drive, Beaumont, Texas.
Thank you very much.
Any questions?
This is a single-story unit?
It's a two-story unit.
Okay.
Two-story.
Two-story, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 1-car garage in each unit. They're about 1,500 square feet apiece.
I think I've seen something similar to these. I'm not sure of the aesthetics though, and that's probably through the Historic Commission that was approved.
Correct.
The aesthetics of everything was approved through the Historic Commission.
The paint colors, everything.
Correct.
So it is. Make sure I'm clear, hang on.
So you said single car garages?
Yeah, each unit have a 1-car garage.
So when,
So that applies for residential, single family. Mhm. Not that, oh, so the zoning district, yes, if it was a single family home, it could go in there, but because it's a 4-unit. Mhm. There.
So the variance being requested is on the photograph on the screen where, on the left where you have the 18 feet, that would be going from 25 feet to that 18 feet.
Yes, sir.
And- Right, it's technically, it'll look like a side yard, but it's technically the rear yard setback.
setback, yeah. That's what it's confused. It looks like a side.
Yeah. Anybody else have any questions? Thank you, sir.
All right, thank y'all.
Is there anybody else in the audience who would like to speak on this item? Hearing none, I'll entertain.
I would say it's a pretty feat to appease the historic district, especially with the restrictions that are tied to the Oaks district. I know most of the concerns from a large base of the area is aesthetics. There are multi-dwelling spaces already in the area, but I would definitely like to know if the agency has reached out to any of the residents, especially those residents that had the concerns, to see if there was any way to appease their opposition, I guess.
That might be a question for staff, I'm not sure.
Yeah, so again, we did send all the property owner notices that were required, I believe it was 24. The second one that I read from the lady that was concerned about the development, she has spoken, she was not only at the original Historic Landmark Commission hearing regarding this request, and she did speak there. And in regards to the only being single-family dwellings, that's not necessarily true in this district. On Broadway, immediately behind this, there's multiple multi-unit structures.
Exactly.
But I know Mr. Price has, done his due diligence within the neighborhood, and there are, he has made efforts to communicate.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And there are other duplexes in that area.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, there's actually a duplex half a block down on Liberty.
We'd entertain a motion at this point if,
Make a motion to approve it.
motion to approve, file PZ 2023-460. Is there a second?
A second.
Motion and second. Would you please call the roll for a vote?
Acting Chairman Beaver,
For it?
Board Member Rowe,
For.
Board Member Sorrell,
For it.
Alternate Board Member Lucas,
Or
Alternate Board Member Jones.
For it.
Thank you.
Thank you. So the variance has been approved,
Yes.
and they'll have to wait so many days.
So now they'll have to submit their application for the Planning and Zoning Commission for the specific use permit.
Okay.
I believe the January meeting deadline's already passed, so he'll most likely be the February meeting, and then it'll go before City Council.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Price.
Next item on the agenda is file PZ 2023-479. Consider a request for a variance to the minimum rear yard setback requirement. The applicant is Brizo Construction for Albert Tompkins. The location is 4250 Inez Street. You'll give us our staff report.
Yes. Heather Ellis of Brizzo Construction, on behalf of Albert Tompkins, is requesting a variance to the rear yard setback for the property located at 4250 Inez Street. The property is zoned RS Residential Single Family Dwelling, which requires a minimum yard setback of 25 feet. And due to the size and shape of the lot, the applicant is requesting that the rear setback be reduced from 25 feet to 12 foot 6 inches to allow for the construction of a new home to be built through the Texas General Land Office program. We mailed out 23 property owner notices, and we received 1 in favor of the request with no comments. On your screens, you will see the subject property. It's that nice triangle lot right there. This is a portion of the site plan where you can see that rear left side of the structure is right at 13.5 feet from that diagonal side property line. I'm sorry, diagonal rear property line. Stay closer up image of that 13-foot measurement. This is the subject property as it sits. This is I tried to get like a side angle to show you it's already pretty close over there. And then this is when you come around the corner at that tip of that triangle, a look at the entirety of the lot.
And so the rear, for clarity, the rear setback line that we're reviewing is the one that behind this property, behind the rear is the railroad track, the railroad.
Yes, yes, it abuts to that railroad track.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions for staff?
Yeah.
Is there anybody in the audience that would like to speak on this item? Yes, sir. Please approach podium. Name, address, relationship to the property.
Good afternoon. My name's Gene Danelli. I'm a project manager for Brizzo Construction. We're the builder for the Tompkins family. We appreciate you letting us come in today. They made application with the Texas General Land Office because their home was destroyed by Hurricane Harvey. And quite frankly, as far as the family's needs go, this was absolutely the only floor plan that we could get to fit. There were 2 others with the same bedroom count that we tried, but we could come nowhere close. They actually extended past the back build line of the property. So this was the only one, due to its boxy nature, that we could get close to fitting. So your help in assisting us to get this approved would be greatly appreciated by the family. Otherwise, they would have to go back to the General Land Office and make application for a smaller home, which would not fit their needs.
And these floor plans are pre-approved, right? By the
Yes, sir.
GLO?
There are a total of 12 plans that the General Land Office has approved, 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, and 4-bedroom. And each applicant gets a choice, depending on what their needs are, of, let's say they qualify for a 4-bedroom due to the number of members in the family. They get to choose from the 3 4-bedroom plans.
So you're gonna tear the old one down?
Yes, sir. We're going to demo the old house that was damaged and replace it with a brand new one. Sure, you've seen all the GLO projects around town. We've built hundreds of them.
It's kind of hard to tell in this aerial image that we have, but is that back corner now in that existing house pretty close to that rear line already, isn't it? The existing house?
It's not actually. There's a large tree that you can see in that picture that's actually between the back corner of that house
Okay.
and that setback line. So
Any other questions for the applicant?
I noticed the approach off of Inez. Is there plans to do like a covered garage or something of that nature, covered parking?
no, sir, the General Land Office doesn't allow for garage units in any of these homes, quite frankly, in Southeast Texas. So any kind of a future garage would be the responsibility of the homeowner.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Daly, could you please state your address for the record?
Sure. My company address?
whichever you prefer.
My company address is 9100 Caniff Street in Houston, Texas, 77017. Thank you.
I have no other questions.
Any more questions, any discussion? Entertain a motion.
Make a motion, we approve file PZ 2023-479.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion to approve with the second. If you would call the roll for a vote.
Acting Chairman Beaver,
For it?
Board Member Rowe. Board Member Sorrell,
For it.
alternate Board Member Lucas,
For.
alternate Board Member Jones.
For.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, our last item on today's agenda is file PZ 2023-501. It's to consider a request for a variance to the minimum rear yard setback requirement in the neighborhood design overlay district. The applicant is Jim Debs for Kevin and Sarah Talbot. Location is 890 23rd Street. We could have the staff report.
Jim Debs, on behalf of Kevin and Sarah Talbot, is requesting a variance to the rear yard setback for the property located at 890 23rd Street. The property is zoned RS Residential Single Family Dwelling and located within the Neighborhood Design Overlay District, which requires a minimum rear yard setback of 25 feet. The applicant is requesting the rear setback be reduced from 25 feet to 10 feet to allow for the construction of an addition and covered patio. The addition of the structure itself will be situated approximately 28 feet from the rear property line. However, the attached covered patio section of the structure will be situated 10 feet 3 inches from the rear property line. The purpose of the Neighborhood Design Overlay District is to provide for the protection and preservation of the design compatibility of buildings, sites, and areas with the overlay district. More specifically, the district has the following expressed purposes: to encourage neighborhood conservation, to stabilize the property values, and prevent the construction of buildings of a size and scale not compatible with the established built character of the district. Staff sent out 16 property owner notices. We received 0 in response. On your screen, you'll see the subject property at the corner of 23rd and Harrison. This is just a screenshot of the overlay district. You can see they are at the edge right there on Harrison, but it does extend from Harrison to Calder, from Central right over to 19th Street. This is the subject property. This is the existing garage. And then behind this hedge is where the structural will go, and I apologize, I just realized the site plan did not make it into the PowerPoint. However, I do believe it is in your packet.
It is in our package.
Okay, I greatly apologize. Should be the second to last page for anyone looking in the packet.
Does anybody have any questions for staff? Okay, thank you. Is there anybody in the audience who would like to speak on this item? Yes, sir. Again, if you'll state your name, your address, and then your relationship with the property.
Jim Debs, 253 Manor, Beaumont, Texas, and I'm the contractor. We did contact, the list of homeowners that you gave. We talked to them, and we got 9 signatures saying that it was okay, including the people back, right, and left of us, adjacent to the property, and they don't have a problem with it. We have the signatures of the people in the immediate area. We didn't get a hold of everybody because some people just don't answer the door anymore.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions for the applicant?
No, sir.
Do you know, as far as the 25-foot in this area, are there other structures that are already encroaching within that 25-foot?
I'm not 1,000% sure on this block of it. I do know there are some pools and things like that, but as far as large structures such as this, I'm not aware.
The neighbor behind us has a mother-in-law house all the way back to the property line,
Right.
right behind us.
Yeah, and it's really kind of, can you kind of describe?
You can
what
see it
the
in that
patio-
picture right there, that little A-frame
Yeah,
right
yeah,
there.
yeah. Talking about that gable of that roof.
Right.
So what's really kind of encroaching is the patio space.
Just the patio, it's an open patio with a bar and a fireplace.
And to be clear, it won't encroach within the 10-foot utilities.
No, it will not.
So basically, they stepping out the pool and going underneath the car, on the patio.
Right, they can go out of the pool and go to the patio, eat something, and go back in the pool.
Where the fireplace is.
Right.
Anybody have any other questions?
No, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Any discussion?
Think what's going on. Stay at the utilities.
I agree.
Have a motion?
Move we approve it.
Move to approve. Is there a second?
I second.
We have a motion and a second. We'll call the roll for a vote.
Acting Chairman Beaver,
For,
Board Member Rowe,
For.
Board Member Sorrell,
For it.
alternate Board Member Lucas,
For.
alternate Board Member Jones.
For it.
okay, that concludes our items on today's agenda. I appreciate everybody being here, and Happy New Year, and y'all have a safe.
Happy New Year.
Year's going fast already.